We're getting ready to do the bag change. I've already put the chuck pads down here. I've got my gloves on. I'm gonna go ahead and set the trash bag just right over there. The other thing that I'm gonna take out right now are the adhesive remover wipes and the spray. So you can see like there's a little bit of lint that's from like the t-shirt that sticks to the adhesive. Usually the easiest place for us to start is right here at the navel. So I just will hold the edge up and gently start wiping around the perimeter just to get the edge of the adhesive removed. You can see it's like starting to lift right there. And like I said, you got to be careful. It's already uncomfortable to have to remove this. So when there's hair sticking to it, that can be really uncomfortable. So this is the part that is going to take the longest. So you are going to notice we're going to do time lapse with this and kind of move it along this part of the video. Once you get the edges up, then that's where I'll start to use the spray adhesive remover. That tends to work the best. So you can see it's just gradually starting to release from the skin. And these do dry out, so I usually end up going through 2 of the adhesive wipe removers during a bag change. So things are kind of moving around nicely. My amazing patient has decided not to eat today, or very little, which makes the bag change go a little bit faster because there's not output coming from the stoma. It just flows out, kind of looks like baby food. There's a few hairs you can see that are sticking. I think because of the direction of hair growth, it doesn't hurt as much removing on this side, but when you get to the bottom, because we're going up to remove it, it's a lot more uncomfortable. So I'm just gonna flip this over and start using another side. Actually going to come back over here and lift a little bit more so I can do the spray adhesive remover and let that start loosening up these pads. So I'm not really sure if you can see what I'm doing, but I wasn't able to find anything like this when we were trying to prepare for the surgery and figuring out what the care was going to be like. Most of the videos that I've seen are from the manufacturers of the supplies, and they do the bag change on a mannequin, which obviously mannequins don't have skin or tissue that moves around. So you really don't get a good idea of how challenging and difficult it is to make sure that you're putting that on there correctly, and that you're also not being too rough on the person who has the bag and you're trying to remove. It's already stressful enough to have to deal with this, let alone to have to be patient while it's being removed. If you were standing up to remove this, which I know people do, there are plugs and caps that you can use over the stoma itself. But unfortunately, the way this one was placed, it's too low and very difficult to see. And on top of that, it would just continue to leak while the bag was being changed. So this is a team effort, removing this and getting a new one back on. Just trying to get that edge up there. And this is starting to dry out. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll spray the adhesive remover And again, this is cold, so let the person know that it's cold. And then I will also spray directly to the wipe itself. So again, we're just continuing to lift those edges up and remove it. And I'm just folding it to a clean edge so that the adhesive that is on here, because it is breaking it down, we end up with a fresh piece of material to help with the removal process. Okay, you're gonna spray some more adhesive remover on here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open up a new pad just to see if we can keep this process moving a little faster. And you can see the difference of what, like, a new pad is fully saturated. I think that some of the adhesive remover product that's on these pads starts to evaporate, and as it evaporates, it becomes less effective breaking down the adhesive. Okay, I'm just going to take the bag and roll it up into the top here so that I can see below. Is that uncomfortable? No, okay. Oh, the other thing that I like to do is put paper towels down along the waistband. And before I get too far along, I will do that. Sorry. Now's a good time to spray. Actually just tuck that into the waistline. So sometimes I go back and forth with the wipe, and sometimes I go directly towards the adhesive circle. It just kind of depends on where you're at and how it's coming off. So we've been doing bag changes since April 18th, and today is actually July 16th. So I can't say that it's gotten easier or more difficult. It just depends on the day. So you can see this is tedious. It's definitely time consuming, but it has to be done, and it needs to be done correctly, so that you don't end up in the emergency room or having to call the ostomy nurse. We just think it's a lot easier if we can take care of it ourselves. And like I said, there wasn't anything online that I could find that was really helpful at preparing us for this. So, you know, hopefully you find this helpful. Hopefully this will make your experience easier than ours was. We had really great ostomy nurses at Emory University Hospital off of Clifton Road. They really took a lot of time making sure we were comfortable with doing this, but you know, just like with anything, sometimes this stuff is, you know, challenging to learn or do, but I think we've made the best of it. So okay, so that is actually completely not attached anymore, so I need to continue to work on this side and the bottom here. Oops, sorry. I hate it when I pull hair. The last thing you want to do is make somebody uncomfortable. Sorry. This area tends to be the most sensitive right here on the medial or middle part of the abdomen. And I'm not quite sure why, if it's because of how the plumbing's done, because I did shave. Today's Tuesday and we did a bag change on Saturday, and we shaved quite a bit of hair to try to avoid this from happening, but it's not helpful at all. This is actually really uncomfortable and not for me. Well, I don't like hurting anybody, but I'm not the one experiencing the discomfort. Is that feeling less sensitive or now the same?
I think it's because of the scar I have there from the surgery.
Okay. So there's not one externally. It's probably internally though, because there was a lot of stuff that had to be done. So sometimes I'll use the tweezers to remove that adhesive. It looks like it might come off pretty easy with my thumb. And again, don't want to pull and tug too much. Okay, so that's the O-ring that I was showing you in the supply part. So I'm going to leave that right there and pause for a minute so that I can get my paper towels ready.